Well, I thought I'd do another edition of what I'm retrospectively going to call the pursuit of truth. Yeah, I came up with that all by myself. And I was thinking about several things today. Firstly, I was thinking about the major problem with believing these things, whether it's 9/11 or false flags or flat earth, is the amount of people that must be involved in it. Sorry if there's a bit of wind there. And then I was thinking about journalists. Like, we always, especially flat earth, will blame the media and journalists, I suppose even false flags, conspiracies as well, for their misreporting or their lies and then I was thinking that they might not necessarily be at fault, because I was thinking, if say I was a journalist and I was sent on a story to go cover some kind of terrorist plot, I would witness what's around me and I wouldn't know whether it was staged or real. And the main point of the fact is that I wouldn't even be considering that question, because I would just be jotting down everything as if it's fact. It's only when you come to this realization that we should actually be questioning everything, and it's not a negative thing to question everything, that you suddenly start to do that. But the thing is, whenever you do, then people think you're crazy, because you're questioning, oh no, they wouldn't do that, why would they do that, why are you even questioning, why are you even thinking about that? And then they make out that you're crazy for thinking, basically, isn't it, for questioning, oh, is that an actor? They look like an actor. So the thing is, like, a lot of people will say that when you go to these events, or when you see these events on TV, that there's not much blood, which, at one point I can see is obviously the media has always never wanted to show us blood and dead bodies. I'm not really sure why, because it's another one of these falsehoods that whenever they show you about the wars that are going on, whether it's First World, Second World, or Iraq War, Afghanistan War, the Syrian War, whatever uprising, they will never show you dead people, people being killed, because their argument will be that it's distasteful or it's horrific for you to see such a thing. But then again, if people actually saw the truth, and surely that is the greatest thing, the truth, by hiding it away, what are you actually showing them? Is there really the defence for that? But obviously there's young children to consider as well. But the fact is, if you actually did see what it's really like, then you might not be so gung-ho for going to war. People might actually protest for these things and consider, well, is it really worth this? How painful it is to see someone die, because the fact is, whenever we see someone die, it's on television or movies, and they die instantly, and they die painfully. Or they're like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Bruce Willis, they can get shot a million times and get up and they don't feel any pain, and they just carry on for the rest of the movie despite being shot many times or beaten up. Whereas the reality is that dying or being killed, I should imagine, is very painful and very graphic. I must admit, when I saw the film Platoon, I was awoken to what war was really like. But of course on the news they don't show you that. So the thing is, like, they try to hide it up. Do they try to hide it up, or was it never there? Because when you see those pictures, you can't see much blood. So obviously as a journalist, but you wouldn't even be thinking that. You would just be like, oh my god, look what's happened, let me note this all down. It's only when you become awoken that you start to see things, that you start to consider things. And that's why maybe it's not right to blame journalists, because they're not looking for that. And I guess the other thing is that most journalism is about hyperbole. I hope I'll use that right word correctly, i.e. that everything's exaggerated, everything's made to seem like it's the end of the world, and it's doom-laden. And so they don't consider anything, because they're trying to make a graphic story out of it. So anyway, that was some thoughts I had about journalists and whether they are to blame for this, and how many people you really do need for a cover-up of this major scale. But anyway, that came into my mind. Anyway, I'm sure I'll have more later. Take care, take it easy, God bless, peace.